Hey, everybody. I'm back. Welcome to Beauty on Call. I think we are on episode number 3, and I am going to get right into it. Today, I'm going to be featuring the Silky setting powder and a berry look. I've already prepped my skin. I took a shower. I used the soap, the bath soap that I was already using to wipe my face off. And then, of course, I used my satin lips to buff my lips. And then I use the Blemish Control Toner because I have been getting acne from wearing that mask at work, and I hate it. So in another video, I'm going to start my clinical solutions process. So I'll keep you updated on that too. I am going to start with some under eye concealer. Under eye corrector, excuse me. I just put a couple drops and put on my ivory concealer on top of my lids because we like to make that eyeshadow pop. And actually today I'm going to use a concealer. Well, I always use a concealer. I'm going to use not concealer. I'm going to use contouring for eyeshadow. Yeah, that's what I'm going to use contouring for eyeshadow, contouring and highlighter. And then a dark color to go inside the crease. Now, the cream color brush is what I'm going to be using to blend that in. Cream color brush. And also for my foundation, I'm going to use the blending brush. I just started using that. And of course, my matte 3D foundation. So what I'm going to do, some people put it right on the brush. I like putting it like on the back of my hand. Just doing that. And then that way I have what I need right there on the back of my hand or the palm of my hand. And I just take it and make dots all over my face. And then if I need to add more later, I just add more. Okay, now after my under eye corrector and concealer has warmed up a little bit, then I'll take my cream color brush and I'll go in and I'll smooth the concealer. Going from the inside, going to out. And see, this has got like an angle on it to where you can actually, you can get a good line right above your lash line. Doesn't matter if it's even or not. And see, that way, it gives it a good strong base. And then, of course, just do the other eye. I'm getting ready to go to work, so I am forced to do this quickly and not get too sidetracked. But really, that's all I do. Take that, spread it out, and if I felt like I've used too much, then I'll just put concealer somewhere else. Go in here and smooth down the under eye corrector right after the concealer. All the way up to the lash line. I can come back and fill that in after I smooth out my foundation. Do the other eye. And you can do a sweeping or you can do a patting motion, however you want to do it. It's so it's so hard for me sometimes because I'm so used to looking right in the mirror and not have to worry about this camera. But that's all right. All right. Base is done for the eyes. Now I take the blending brush and I start at the top and I just blend foundation in. Start above the eyes, down the nose, get my cheeks, then the sides. I couldn't believe how well this worked because I have a thing about brushes. Sometimes brushes will collect too much product and then you're using more product than you need to use because the brush has soaked it all up. So I've been leery about using brushes. But this, I like this. This is a winner. I've used my fingertips for what? 30 plus years. And then the bottom, I usually go in an upward sweeping motion. And then once I get all that done, I just go blend that in with with the concealer and the under eye corrector. And if need be, I'll go right over the top. That way it blends in. Do the inner eye a little bit. Blend this across the top. Blend that on the inside. Voila. And then if there's any touch-ups I need, I can always go back with my cream brush and stretch that out a little bit. Pull that color out underneath. And pull that color. Pull that concealer rather. stretch over a bit. It's going to set once I have the powder on here. This new setting powder is definitely bomb. It's supposed to be, well, it says Silky setting powder, and you're supposed to be photo ready afterwards, and it works. It works. Okay, I've done a little bit too much there. Keep it moving, girl. Keep it moving. Okay, now, and it came out with translucent. I'm going to be using bronze, and I'm this color. This one is deep beige, and then we have light medium bronze, which has got a little bit more red in it. See the difference? Deep beige, light medium bronze, and then I'm going to show you the one that I use. It's light bronze. So see, the light bronze is lighter than the dark beige. I mean, it's a little bit darker than the beige. It's a little bit darker than the deep beige, but it's not as red as that bronze. See, that bronze has got too much red in it. Maybe if I do it that way. There we go. See how that bronze has got a lot of red in it? I need more yellow in mine. So I can get away with using the light bronze all over. And then what I can do is I can do the deep beige. If I want to highlight more, I can use the deep beige over my eyes to bring out the eyeshadows. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my my deep beige pressed powder to bring out my eyes, because the loose powder, I don't want the loose, the loose will get into, I don't want the powder to get into my eyes, so I'll just use the pressed powder from my palette. Oh, I don't have that thing to get my color out. There's the pressed powder. I'll put the colors in the description later. But that's that other beige color that I'll use to set my eyes. And I'll just put that over the eyelids. Doesn't matter if it's overly done because we're highlighting the eyes anyway. And then underneath, as you see, I like to use a powder sponge or a cloth circle to set my makeup, because I set it and forget it. And we know I like to have a photo ready face anyway. So I like to set it, and I want it to stay that way. There's that beige to set the eyes. Beige sets the eyes. And of course, they teach you to tap it so you have plenty inside the lid. And if not, tap some more. Really? Well, it would help. It's got a little dial thing. You got to turn it on the inside. Anyway, you turn that, then you turn it over. Voila! Now you get the powder you need inside and on the lid. And then I usually just turn it back around. That way I'm not using so much powder above. Down my nose. Upper lip. Blend it in with my eyes. Cheeks. Chin. That was from the lid. Blend it down. Everything's blended. I usually do a little bit on the sides of my nose. Wherever I might get a little extra oily. I like that. Did I turn it back? I didn't turn the dial back. Turn the dial back. Okay. That's it for the powder. Okay, and I always get the excess off. So a whole lot of it doesn't get on my work shirt. Let's see. What else didn't I do? Oh, I'll take the eye makeup remover. Get the excess off my lips. Because we want to see lip color. And then take some tissue. Make sure that's good and dry. Bam. Let that set, and then I will be ready for lip liner here in a second. But what I'm going to do is my contour trick. Contour trick, what I usually do is I just take a sponge tip applicator right into my contour, and I'll use the contour to go across the lid of my eye. And that can be used as a base for the eye. The same on the other eye. Hard to watch and make sure that I don't cover it up. So that you can see what I'm doing. And then I'll just step out of frame and make it better. There we go. Contour as a base. Then I'll take a lighter shade of shadow. I'll take the gold lighter shade, and I'll mix in a little bit of that white. And I'll use that to highlight. Some of that gold, some of this gold, mix it in with the white, and then use that to highlight the brow. Voila. Now, depending, I'll take a dark brown. Let's do the brown. I'll do the browns. There's a matted brown, and then there's a kind of shimmer brown. I'll stick with the matty brown. I think this one is mahogany. And then I'll just use that for the corners. And then blend it inside. And then just on the outer corner. I'll blend that. Do the same for the other side. For the left eye, in about halfway. And then just blend it in. Voila. After that, I'll take my cheek brush and I'll use a highlighter. Tap off the excess. And then I'll get the excess shadow from under my eye. And then also I'll use that to blend it. If I've got too much color, I can use that and just sweep right over it and blend that in. Okay, then the last step, I'll take a little bit of the black shadow and I'll go right on the side and just give that a little dramatic pop. I'll make sure they're both even. If not, I can sweep a little bit more over towards the middle, or go from the middle to the outside to blend that in. Voila. Take one of my brushes, get the shadow out of my lashes. That's it for that. Take some highlighter and or contour. Get the excess shadow off my cheeks. Really not going to matter because I'm going to be wearing a mask at work anyway. So much for that. And then I can get ready for the brows. Now, also a lot of times I'll take my my eye crease brush and I'll get the excess shadow out of my lashes too, because that's got that angle. I can go right over it. Let me hurry up. Hurry up, hurry up. Brows. I usually take this. There's a line here. I'll put it right around here and kind of get a feel from where I want to start my brow. I think I'm gonna start here. And then I'll just take that. I've done it so much that I make this look easy. And then my lights are so bright, I usually have to put my hand over to give it a shadow. And then I'll go in and I'll perfect that brow to how I want it. Come out here. Of course it would break. Of course it would break. Because I'm on cam. Okay. Make sure it's even where I want it. If I want to make a more vertical line, I can do a vertical line. And then voila. Make sure I have that where I wanted it. And then I'll just do the same thing on the other side. While I'm looking at the side I've already have done, try to match the arches. And as I go, I'll just keep filling it in as I'm matching the other arch to the other side. I gotta press this a little harder. I broke it twice. Okay, go down here, make a little vertical line. Either vertical or slanted line, however, to match up the line with the other one. So see, they're both kind of slanted, it's not as vertical. And the space in between them could be a little bit closer together. They say your brows are supposed to look like sisters, not twins. So when I do them, whatever I end up with, that's what I end up with. Looks good enough for me. And then what I'll do is I'll take my black shadow on my angled brush and I'll fill in the brown. Like so. And then if I need to fill that in vertically, I'll spin that brush around and then I'll go in to make that vertical line. And that's how I get my brows to look like that. Same difference on this side. Sweep it all the way. A little bit messed up in here. Turn the brush around. Perfect that line as best I can. Brows are done. Use the excess, go over my lashes again. Bam. If I think they're a little, if I think I'm gonna have a little bit of excess oil, the last step I'll use is I'll take some tissue and I'll blot the brow to give it a little extra setting. Now, of course, we are ready for my lash primer and my Lash Love Lengthening Mascara. I'm not going to use waterproof today. This on real quick. And my lips, I got to get out of here. This has a little bit of mascara on it because I cheated and I used the mascara wand inside my lash primer because I'm getting every little bit out. I got a new one, but I ain't ready to let this one go because I know there's more in there. Lash Love Mascara. Over the top of the lash. Hit it vertically. Damn. Hit the top of the lash with a tapping motion. Hit it vertically. Ah. Get out the door. Mascara. Now, lips. Berry lip liner. V in the top of down the lip line. Bottom. Start in the middle, sweep it across each side. That's berry, and we are wearing very famous today. Very famous. I'm thinking this is matte. It's either matte or semi-matte. I know it kind of stays on. After I blot it, because I'll blot my lips